So welcome everybody to this episode of the Pictory podcast. And I wanted to introduce myself and Pictory a little bit. The topic today is AI in sales and marketing on LinkedIn, specifically for LinkedIn. And we all know LinkedIn is where all the sales and marketing action is these days. And we all know that AI is eating the world in so many different ways. And so we felt like it was a really good combination of for especially for people in B2B to talk about LinkedIn as well as AI and how it's impacting the world. And my background really quickly, I'm the founder and CEO of Pictory. And Pictory.AI is we're a company based here in the Seattle area, and we've been building a platform that leverages AI for creating videos and editing videos and making videos really easy. Especially specifically, what we do is we turn long form content, whether it's a long webinar or a long text blog or a white paper, into short videos. Because on social, especially on LinkedIn, short videos will grab attention. Then you can use that as teasers to bring people into watching your longer form content or reading your longer form content. And we have several pieces of AI in our platform that helps create the videos. And I'm super excited today to have Thorsten Linz here. And Thorsten is with a company called Innovare AI. And they have been using AI for sales activities and marketing activities. And Thorsten himself, I'll let him talk about his background, but he's part of the Singularity University and is at the forefront of AI in so many different ways. So welcome, Thorsten. And I would love to start with a little bit of your background.
Okay, thank you. Yes, my name is Thorsten. I'm actually based in Berlin right now. Last year, after going on a trip to Europe, I actually couldn't go back because of the travel ban. So actually I continued building our business from here. So in general, my background is in digital marketing and CRM. I worked for global advertising companies and spent a lot of time in China, in the US, and of course in Europe. And when I quit my job in 2014, when I was working in Chicago, I went to Silicon Valley. I started a innovation business and became part of Singularity University and started actually coaching their startups. And the biggest challenge that we ran into was, how do you validate a business idea on scale? And that was one of the biggest problems because usually, you run like an experiment, you run it like, just on LinkedIn, right, in one market. But the challenge here was, how do you scale, your business idea testing in like 20 markets? And there wasn't actually anything available yet at that time. And the other issue was, the clients that we were working for, they never had like the patience and the resources in order to spend like 6 months validating a new product idea. Well, this is actually when we actually started ideating, around the platform idea. And the platform actually became a dashboard, and we started as a SaaS business, and we started actually in Seattle. And now we are like 8 iterations later, we became an automation company and we offer done-for-you services because we figured a SaaS business, a pure SaaS play for what we do is very tough. It's very hard. But with AI actually coming into the game now, we will eventually become a SaaS platform again in the future. From a company point of view, we work for a lot of accelerators in the US, such as Startup Haven in Seattle. We work for Techstars and Google for Startups. We have clients in Berlin and Paris and Brussels, all over the US, bootstrap companies, SMEs, and corporate innovation teams.
Awesome. And seems like your customers are largely B2B companies, B2B SaaS companies, startups, or existing businesses, long-term businesses. Talk about how you yourself use LinkedIn and any tips for our audience here.
That's a good one. Yeah, I mean, LinkedIn just imposed the 100 connection request limit per week. Everybody has been affected by that. And before that, I used to send out about 500 connection requests per week to people I want to meet. And since, I mean, that limit has been put in place, I mean, LinkedIn doesn't scale anymore. So there are different ways now how to do this. But in a nutshell, I mean, LinkedIn is good if you want to build a relationship, if you really want to start a conversation about a product or, I mean, about an idea. But what happened is actually that many people used LinkedIn as a sales platform. I mean, it got spammed. Everybody knows these messages, right? And this is why LinkedIn had to respond to this. So they really cut this down. The way I use LinkedIn personally is building my relationships. I mean, providing content on LinkedIn and really building my own brand, which is actually, especially for B2B companies like ours, LinkedIn has the perfect infrastructure for that. Looking at the opportunities, I mean, which we still have on LinkedIn, LinkedIn still offers us many opportunities. We still can send like 800 in-mails, or they call this open in-mails per month. So everybody who has like an open in-mail profile can be contacted without actually sending a connection request. And this is how you actually go around this limit. I mean, talking about LinkedIn groups, I mean, or AI, I mean, there are so many AI-based LinkedIn groups, and you actually can send free messages to everyone in these groups without actually using any of your LinkedIn connection requests. And then you can start hijacking. This is what we do, right? So find your competitors, look up their events, and actually scrape actually all the participants and try actually to get in contact with them. This is how you actually get new customers. And finally, I mean, you still can upload your address book to LinkedIn. And this is interesting because if you upload your address book, I mean, the 100 connection request limit, I mean, doesn't affect you at all. You can have like 5,000 people on your address book on your mobile device. Once uploaded, LinkedIn connects to these folks automatically. And this is, I mean, a few tactics how you actually, I mean, go around the 100 connection request limit per day or per week.
Awesome, awesome. How does your platform use LinkedIn? I know you've built this nice selling platform, B2B sales platform. How do you use LinkedIn for that?
Good question. I mean, number one, it's actually data in LinkedIn. We have more than 700 million profiles, users, and we scrape that data. And on LinkedIn, especially if you're using Sales Navigator, you have 28 data points that you actually can use for your own, I mean, targeting. If you have, I mean, just a standard or regular profile, you have like 4 data points. If you have LinkedIn Premium, you get like 14 data points. But if you're into sales, you need to use Sales Navigator because of the available data. And we use it, of course, to run our own targeted campaigns on LinkedIn for us and our customers. But as far as messaging is concerned, we are doing 2 things. Number one is we do a lot of personalization of LinkedIn messages. I mean, as it goes right now, you have like a message you send out, your personalized first name and last name, and maybe a company name. What we do is we personalize images inside of LinkedIn messages. So, and we tap into these 28 data points, and pretty much any image we can personalize that with like a name. I mean, even with your profile image, I mean, with your company location, everything, I mean, what gets our message across, I mean, to our target audience and gets them to respond. I mean, this is one part. In addition to that, right now we are playing with Conversation AI. And Conversation AI is actually a platform that ties into our platform now, where we auto-generate messages for our customers. We don't tell our customers yet because we are playing with this. And the point here is auto-generated, AI-generated text sequences, you can actually spot the difference immediately. So my team actually sits behind it. They run the AI, generate the messaging sequences, and then we like error check all of this, and then we test it. And we do this on LinkedIn, and we also do this on cold email marketing.
Awesome.
And again, looking, at LinkedIn in general and our platform, we are trying to build a predictive model here that we will be able to see if a business idea succeeds or fails in the future. So that means, tapping into a LinkedIn data, getting into the data points, and actually measuring how people respond to AI-generated messages will help us actually to accelerate our own process.
Okay, okay. That's pretty awesome. So you're using AI in two different ways in your platform. One is what you mentioned is configuring images that use the prof, your prospect
The information.
data and your name and company name and so on. And then you also are using it for generative text and generative messages.
Correct.
And you're testing that out to see if people respond or positively or negatively to these AI generated messages.
Yes, we in B2B, I guess we are kind of used to AI right now. And even if you spot a message that has been written by an AI, we will probably respond to that message. If you're a B2C marketer, this is totally different. Because in B2C, I feel like AI is going to be very tough because it needs to be very emotional, right? In a B2B context, it's about, transmitting or transporting the facts, right? I just need to see the facts of a message, which is different. So playing with that in B2B is quite interesting, right? And especially for us, because we want to measure the results and see how can we actually tick up the conversion rates by using AI?
Yeah, yeah. Awesome, awesome. So let's talk a little bit, let's switch to AI now, and we're kind of already talking about the AI powered content, specifically text content, and you talked about image content. Let's talk about videos and how do you use videos today in your platform, and how do you see videos being used in general in LinkedIn?
Videos in general, we've seen that on all the other platforms, right? Videos drive engagement. And if you look at LinkedIn today, it feels sometimes like Facebook in 2012, right? You see actually a lot of videos popping up right and left. But especially like in B2B sales, videos are very important because videos drive engagement. We are used to get all these text messages, getting like emails, but videos actually interrupt like your day, and actually videos can help you explain a very difficult product in a different way, right? Because it's like listening, it's the visuals instead of just reading your email or a booklet. So what we found out is that that with video, the engagement rate goes up and the conversion rate goes up. And the way we use it right now, we are using another AI here. It's called Synthesia, and they are hyper personalizing videos. So what we do actually with images and what we do with on LinkedIn messages and language and conversion AI, we also can do this with video. So what we do is we take the tag from LinkedIn and use a Zapier recipe and insert this tag into the video, and it's auto-generated, right? The minute the SAP runs, it takes a minute or two to generate a video and to send an email to somebody, which is hyper personalized. So if somebody books a meeting actually with me on my Calendly account, what happens once the email address is on our system, on our active campaign, the Zapier runs, right, and sends out confirmation video instead of an email.
Wow.
And it's hyper personalized. It comes like with the first name, the company name, and the meeting date,
Okay.
right? So,
So
and this,
the video has I've seen some of the synesthesia videos. So they have a avatar. So you have created a personal avatar for yourself, and that reminds the prospect that hey, you have a meeting scheduled, and here's the time and date, and uses their name and everything
correct.
there.
They give you 40 different avatars by now, right? So you can pick actually, female, male, age, right? There are so many different actors to choose from. And the interesting thing is here, you can upload your own avatar. So they actually need a 4-minute video of yourself reading from a script. And then they actually do some magic. And a week later, you get your own avatar, which actually speaks 44 languages.
Wow, wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That is where the future of some of this generative video is going. You can see that. And do you so this is one part, this personalization of videos. Do you see more traction with these personalized videos? Do you see open rates higher? Do you see response rates higher? Things like that.
I mean, it's number one, it's a talking piece at the beginning of each and every meeting, which is a good opener. But I mean, for our clients who use actually use these avatars, what we provide is actually a sales follow-up process. So we tag a client in our system or a customer in our system as being, say, a French person. So we actually get a French video out, and it's going to be a French sales presentation that goes out to that person immediately, right? So you can scale actually all of this. Why we use so much time actually recording videos, you see, you need like 20 takes sometimes, right, to do a video. With that system right now, it's just entering text pretty much, and that's it, right? And it generates the video. They still have a few issues when it comes to the language, right? I mean, there are some nuances they have to figure out. But I mean, all in all, it's, I mean, a very good product. And some of our customers start using actually that product right now, just in order to get their sales pitch out in the market. And it's being used for follow-up sales calls. So it's actually all the follow-up stuff after the first call in order to get folks to the next sales meeting.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's great right now. It's I like the robotic the generative power of it, but there is a robotic aspect of it which I know from marketing perspective, I don't know that it'll fly very well in the beginning.
That is a very good point, to be honest, right? And what we did on our own avatars, we actually, I mean, call them the virtual AI assistants right from the beginning. So you're not trying to fake any human here. I mean, they are virtual AI assistants, and this actually puts this on a whole different level immediately, because people are used actually to, I mean, AIs, right? And if you try to fake folks, and this is going to be a different story then.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So switching a little bit to Pictory, and because we're talking about videos here, and Pictory is all about videos as well. It's slightly different. The use cases are slightly different, and you've been a Pictory user yourself for a few months now. So tell us a little bit about how you've used it, how you found it useful, and then I'll talk about kind of the vision that we have in the future of how we can get more AI in there and how we can create even more of these personalized videos as well.
I guess the biggest advantage is time saving. Right. This is, I mean, the biggest, USP for us, because when we do our own webinars, it used to take a day or 2 days just to edit down the video and to get it right. And we had like 2 people actually just getting down on the video production here and to chop it down for social media. My first video with you guys took me 90 minutes. Right, it was like it was pretty much like a 2-hour video, and what I liked actually that you can actually cut it down into pieces, and it summarizes pretty much the video. That was actually a cool feature. But what I really enjoyed was actually the language, that the speech to text translation, right? And just pretty much editing all the text and cutting the video actually by editing the text. I mean, that was like really cool. So
Yeah.
it helped me a lot. All in all, I mean, a great product. And again, we have Jen here who is going to use the product in the future, because for us as a company, we will be generating way more videos, right? What we were lacking in the past is actually the tools, right? In order to really scale that process.
Yeah, yeah. In terms of the human, I think that's the thing we realized is people really connect with videos where folks are talking. This kind of videos that we're producing right now with you and I conversing, and people connect with that. And but one of the challenges that we've realized, everybody we've talked to, they spend more time, like multiples of more time editing videos than actually producing the videos.
Yeah, yeah.
That's true, like whether it's e-learning, whether it's marketing, whether it's external training, internal training, any of those scenarios. And people spend a lot more time editing videos. So our goal was to see how we can make the editing of the video really easy. And most of the videos that we're talking about from the business B2B context are videos with speech. So we can convert the speech to text and then just make editing as easy as editing text, which is what Pictory has been all about. In terms of AI functionalities, we have the first piece of AI is that transcription piece. So we take the speech and convert it to text. But there's many other pieces of AI that are in Pictory. For example, you talked about the summarization piece. So right now you can basically press a button and you say summarize the transcript into some key messages. So we use natural language processing for that and come up with the key messages around that. And at the end, the goal is to create short videos that you can post on LinkedIn that grabs people's attention and bring them into watch your whole webinar. And the other piece that I'm not sure you've tried yet, Thorsten, is that we also have a piece where we can actually generate videos starting from text. They're very different from the synesthesia videos. They use stock content, and then they also do the rendering of the text in with speech. But there isn't a human or avatar speaking, but there is stock imagery.
I've seen that, but I haven't used it.
Yeah, yeah. So
Mm.
that one is another. So there's more pieces of AI in there as well, that like the rendering of text to speech is one piece. The summarization of a blog post into shorter pieces, that's another second piece of AI. Then there is an AI that we use to find the best matching stock image to a given sentence. So if you have 10 sentences that you want to create a video from, each sentence may have a different stock image or a video that we.
This works by keyword, by picking a keyword. How does it work?
Yes, yes. So it's a bunch of different algorithms that we use in there, but it starts with the keyword, and we identify the keywords in the article, then we identify the keywords in the sentence, and then we also identify the category of the article. So if it's a technology article, or it's an article talking about, lifestyle or sports or whatever, and then we kind of narrow the search of the images, using the categories, using keywords. And then we also use computer vision in there. So for example, with computer vision, we can tell what objects are contained in the image or the video,
Mm.
and that gives us additional tags that we can search on.
So where will you take this platform in the future?
Yeah,
Where?
yeah, the main goal for our platform is really helping in marketing and sales, and personalization is of course one of our long-term strategies here as well. So you can imagine Now, instead of an avatar, imagine me recording my own voice
Mhm.
in a message, and you can now change that.
Mhm.
Whereas in my original recording, I might have said, "Hi, Thurston, and how are you?" And this is messages for Innovare. I could change the name and the company name
Mhm.
in my own voice and my own face, as opposed to using an avatar. So there's still a while to go here. There is people working on that. It's still cutting edge of research here, and but we're pretty excited about that.
But with all of this, I mean, it's just around the corner, kind of.
It is, yes, it is, and I think the other key piece here, where your platform and our platform can tie really well, is effectivity of the messaging, right? I mean, measuring effectivity of videos on LinkedIn, the number of likes, engagement metrics you get, or through email, the open rates or the response rates you get. Those are all metrics that need to tie back into improving the AI and making the
Right.
AI better and in the learning process.
Mhm. Makes total sense. Yeah.
So any final thoughts on LinkedIn AI? Where do you see your platform going in the future? And just let's
I
chat
guess the
about that.
future of sales automation will be automation. Right? I mean, it will be a combination of automation tools and AI, right? And some predictive analytics. And we will have actual, we won't need SDRs anymore in the future, right? We will just have the algorithm run and run and run. And we see this actually from results right now. I mean, the system works, it generates results, right? The question is, can we put it on auto run without actually human intervention? This is the question. If this is possible, yeah, this is going to be a gold mine for any business, right? Just look at the labor cost on one side, right? There's of course a downside when we talk about labor, but with automation tools, it's all the tedious stuff that you can, I mean, automate and actually can help, I mean, lower waged folks really to go into like sales positions. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to that future. Personally, I see a lot of opportunities, and I see, of course, a few, I mean, risks involved. But I mean, this is always when it comes to technology and new technologies, there's always a risk. And
Yes.
it's how you use actually that technology then.
Yes, absolutely. And our future, I see it as more democratization. So you're talking about democratization of sales. We're talking about democratization of video, and I think they will intersect very nicely in the future.
Okay.